After shooting 10 days in Tokyo, I realized that I was overpacking. Half of the stuff I brought I didn't even use and didn't really matter for what I shot. And this trip actually made me realize that I still overpack even on a day-to-day basis. And this right here is what I actually use day-to-day. Welcome to the channel. My name is Juan. I am a social media content creator here in Las Vegas, mostly for mom and pop businesses. Now, I'm really just gonna go over what I actually use day to day, not what I used to use, because I feel like that's kind of irrelevant. And let's start with the obvious. This is a question I get not just on YouTube, but on Instagram as well. And it's usually, what am I using to film all my videos on? And what I'm using currently is the Sony FX3. This camera has been on the market for a very long time now. If you know about cameras, you know about the Sony FX3. This is mostly a video first camera. You can take photos and they're okay, but it's not necessarily a photo camera. It's mostly video. So when it comes to client work, any of my personal videos that you see on social media, for the most part, will all be filmed on the Sony FX3. Obviously, some of the pros from this camera is you can shoot in log, 10-bit, it's compact, small, minimal, super powerful, has internal fans, and this makes for the best camera all around for video. I live in Las Vegas. It gets extremely hot in the summer, and my camera has not overheated one single time. I used to shoot on a Sony a7 III, and that camera will last maybe 2 minutes before it overheated. So for my climate, where I am and what I do, this is the overall best pick for me. Now, moving on to the microphone situation. This is the DJI Mic 2, and to me, this is probably one of the best microphone pickups on the market. If you're looking for something that is light, compact, and basically just plug and play, you don't have to mess around with the settings all that much, the DJI Mic 2 is that piece of gear. Now, if you want to get really in depth and really customize and fine tune your settings, you definitely can do so. I feel like the audio just straight from the rip sounds really great. And if I need to make any sort of tweaks to my audio, I usually do it in post. They have new iterations of the DJI Mic. This is the second one. I believe they are currently on like the third or fourth one, and they make them even smaller. But I've had this for over a year now, and it's been a great addition to my setup. It's just plug and go, fairly inexpensive when it comes to gear, and it just works. And my favorite thing about this piece of gear is that the case it comes in is actually a charger case, and the charge on this thing lasts a very, very long time. I usually only charge it maybe once or twice every 2 weeks. Banger. Now, something that I haven't really upgraded or cared about too much in the past are tripods. And the reason why is because I just thought mine worked. It was perfect, but there are so many good tripods on the market. I used to rock this ginormous heavy tripod, and now I have this carbon fiber tripod from Siri, and it's actually really, really good. Now, my favorite things about this tripod, it's very easy to use, unscrew, open, and it is less than 2 pounds. So for me, something that's actually really important is being able to carry all the gear that I actually need, but also something that doesn't really weigh me down. And this tripod being carbon fiber, being less than 2 pounds, it's absolutely perfect for the setup. For the most part, I use a tripod at every single shoot. So that for me is something that I can't go without. And second, carbon fiber tripods are usually super, super expensive. This one was actually just $100. For some of you guys, that might be expensive, but when you start comparing to the other tripods on the market and going up towards $1,000, I think this is a pretty good bang for your buck. So one of my biggest learnings from doing content creation for this long professionally is that really the most minimal setup can get you everything that you need. If you're going into big time productions, obviously you need more gear, but for what I do, working with small mom and pop businesses here in town, just to deliver assets for social media, you really don't need that much. And if you're kind of in the same field as I am, again, you probably don't need as much as you're currently carrying. But I think one thing that I just can't live without in my setup is this Anchor power bank. This is something that I took to my trip to Japan, and though it was a little annoying to carry because it was so heavy, it was very useful, and I seem to find a lot more use now when I'm back home and actually, getting to work and doing things for work. Whenever I need to charge, for example, my DJI mic case, this thing comes in super handy. Let's say I kind of burn through all my batteries. I can charge my camera with this battery. This is 20,000 milliamps and it charges actually pretty dang quick. So whenever I'm going from shoot to shoot, or maybe I need a quick little boost in my camera, I use this thing. So if you're somebody who really doesn't have a lot of batteries, and maybe you don't have like these fancy chargers where you can charge 3 batteries at once, power bank will be your best friend. It's definitely been a good tool to have in my bag. Now, those are some of the biggest things I carry in my bag, but what's important is those little accessories that actually complete the entire setup. These are small things and they vary from function to function, but I think all together is what encapsulates and makes the perfect setup. I love a good accessory, so this is probably one of my favorite parts of the video, and I think everybody needs to accessorize their stuff, whether it's just for vibes or for actual like usability. Now, let's start with the obvious. We have lenses. I think you're gonna need lenses depending on what kind of content you're making. For example, right now I am using the Laowa 10mm lens. Now, this lens is great because it gives me a very wide shot. As you can tell here, if I start going into the corners, it starts distorting a little bit. For example, look at my hand and how crazy big that looks. But if I'm center, I'm perfectly normal. The outside is pretty wide and open, and I think it just creates a very unique shot. Now, all your lenses are gonna be for very different purposes, but I like to have variety, and I think these 3 lenses that I'm about to show you are perfect for everyday needs. This one is the G Master Mark II. It is the 24 to 70 millimeter. Now, this is if I want anywhere from a 24 to 70, so wide to a pretty tight shot, and it gives me a lot of range as well. And if I want to get some kind of macro shots, some really detailed, tight, close shots, this is pretty solid for that. It's not the best for that, but it's perfect. And it is a zoom lens, so you have a lot of versatility from your 24 to your 70, depending on what you want to shoot. This was actually the very first lens I picked up. I learned everything with that lens. After that, I kind of wanted to go a little wider, but I didn't want to lose the ability to go from different ranges. So the next lens I picked up was this G Master Mark II. It is the 16 to 35 millimeter lens. To me, this is the perfect lens for all of your needs, especially if you're a social media creator for businesses. Sometimes you'll need a really wide shot, and I don't ever go tighter than a 35 for those scenarios. If I'm shooting products and maybe some landscape, the 24 to 70 is my go-to. So again, a lot of these accessories or lenses like we're speaking about here, it all depends on what you shoot and what you need. And some of you guys might shoot real estate, some of you guys might just shoot people. It depends on you, right? Something to keep in mind, this is what I use. Usually, for the most part, I carry these 2 lenses, and the 10mm stays here at home. Now, speaking of lenses, I have my Peter McKinnon VND filter here. It is also a polarizer as well, all in one. If you don't know what this is, think of it as glasses for your camera. If you're outside in a very bright sunny day, you're gonna put on some glasses so you can see a little better and you're not blinded by the bright, harsh sun. What a VND does, it does the exact same thing for your camera, so you can keep that f-stop nice and low. I always recommend a VND filter for those shooting outdoors, which for me, it happens pretty often. A microfiber towel, super important. Keep those lenses clean. Keep your gear clean. A microfiber towel will go a very long way. And now onto more stuff to keep your lens clean. I have this little air duster thing that you just aim at your lens and you push it and it gets all those little specks right off. If you don't have this, definitely get one of these. And I shoot in log, so I want to make sure that my white balance is pretty accurate depending on what my client needs. For example, I have this little card right here that I use, and it has a little strap as well. I use this to make sure that my white balance is set accurately whenever I am shooting for clients. This is mostly used for clients. You know, I got to make sure that it's clean and clear image quality. White balance card, very, very, very important. And this one's small, so you can just carry it in your pocket. Again, this whole setup is all about being minimal. Not just minimal, but also intentional. I think that's the most important thing, is being intentional with the kind of gear that you're carrying. And with that in mind, gotta have some batteries. So I have a couple of extra Sony batteries here as well. Now these are obvious accessories, but I gotta tell you what's in my bag, right? But one accessory that is not obvious is this shoe mount adapter. And this is specifically for your DJI mic. All you do is you're gonna slide this into your shoe mount of your camera. And here you're gonna have the receiver for your DJI mic. You're just gonna slide it in just like this, boom. And just like that, you have a complete wireless setup. Now this is perfect because I personally don't like cables hanging off of my camera. So to me, the DJI wireless adapter for your shoe, for your hot shoe cover, is a must have. I think these retail for about $50. And if you don't have one, highly recommend this accessory. It is my favorite accessory. I use it every single shoot. And guys, that's really all I have to be a successful content creator here in Las Vegas. And when you think about it, that's not much. It's expensive. It's a lot of expensive gear, but this is stuff I've accumulated throughout the years, and it's stuff that I actually use. That is the most important part. I actually use every single piece of this equipment every single day. And obviously the most important thing here, to just bring it and pack it all home, you gotta have a good bag. Now I was in Japan and everybody's got the cross bags, they got the bags hanging off. The backpacks weren't a big thing, and I like that. I like not having this big bulky backpack that made my bag super sweaty. So I got this bag from Uniqlo, and this bag from Uniqlo is like maybe $20. Super affordable, sturdy, somewhat waterproof. Maybe water resistant is the best word for it. It's not waterproof, so be careful with that, but it has everything that I need to carry all of my gear perfectly. But I went ahead and actually bought one more thing, and it's this little cubby thing that you put into your bag. So I put my camera in this pocket and a lens in this pocket, and you just put this thing inside your bag, and it allows you to carry everything. So it's easier for you to just grab your camera. Everything's sturdy in its place. Your camera and your lenses aren't bouncing around in your bag. And I think that's super important if you don't want things to get damaged. So yeah, I think I picked this up for like $30 on Amazon. I love the bright orange color, and it fits perfect in this Uniqlo bag. So these two things I think are a must-have to protect your gear and carry them all without being too bulky. Now, this is what I carry on a day-to-day basis, really minimizing what I use and what I need and what's really on me at all times. And I'm not bringing any extra baggage or things that I don't really need. I made this video so I can share what a successful everyday carry can look like, especially if you're a content creator working as a freelancer. This will, I think, be your pretty much everything you really need. Obviously, it all depends on your shoot. Sometimes I have to bring my big old gimbal. Sometimes I have to bring more lens adapters. It just kind of depends. But this day-to-day bag is pretty much really all I need. All of the products I mentioned are linked down below. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. And let me know what else you guys want to see next, whether it's more Tokyo content, more gear content, or maybe what game I'm currently playing. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, like the video if you guys found this informative, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.